Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we break down the biggest geopolitical stories in the world. No hype, no noise, just the strategy behind the headlines. If that's your thing, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a like to support the channel. Now let's talk about what's happening behind closed doors in Washington, because this could shape the future of the Middle East. This week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly delivered a blunt message to American officials. Israel will strike Iran alone if necessary. No permission, no green light from Washington, just Israeli jets and Israeli decisions. The real question isn't whether Netanyahu is serious. The real question is, why now? The war that changed the equation. To understand this moment, we have to go back 8 months. In June 2025, Israel and the United States fought what became known as the 12-day war against Iran. This wasn't a proxy fight through militias, this was direct confrontation. More than 200 Israeli aircraft launched coordinated strike waves across Iran. Nuclear facilities were hit, missile production sites were destroyed, command centers were targeted. One of the most significant strikes hit the Natanz nuclear facility. Israeli intelligence reportedly operated covert assets deep inside Iranian territory, disabling air defenses in the opening hours and clearing corridors for fighter jets. The United States joined in. American B-2 bombers struck hardened underground facilities that Israeli weapons couldn't penetrate alone. Intelligence sharing was real-time. Targeting was synchronized. When the ceasefire took hold, Iran had suffered major damage. But Iran didn't fold. It rebuilt. Iran's recovery is faster than expected. Fast forward to today. Intelligence assessments now suggest Iran has doubled missile production capacity since the June war. Launchers have been repaired. Many have been relocated into mountainous regions and underground bunkers. Facilities are more dispersed. Redundancy has been built into the system. Iran learned from the war. And according to Israeli estimates, missile stockpiles may be returning to or even exceeding pre-war levels. That's where the red line comes in. Israel's red line. Israeli officials haven't publicly defined it, but analysts believe it revolves around missile volume. When Israel struck in June 2025, Iran had roughly 2,500 ballistic missiles. Production was around 300 per month. Israeli leaders have warned about potential stockpiles reaching 4,000 to 8,000. Why does that number matter? Because even the best air defense system in the world can be overwhelmed by sheer volume. Israel's Arrow missile defense system performed impressively in June, but interceptors are expensive, they take time to manufacture, and stockpiles are not infinite. During just 12 days of war, billions were spent on missile interception. And here's the critical detail. Israel's interceptor inventory has not fully recovered. That means if another massive barrage happens today, Israel's defense systems could face serious strain. From Netanyahu's perspective, that's not a theoretical concern, it's an existential one. Tension with Washington. Now here's where things get complicated. President Donald Trump has sent mixed signals on Iran. On one hand, he has warned of overwhelming military force if negotiations fail. On the other, his administration is reportedly exploring renewed talks focused mainly on nuclear enrichment. From Trump's standpoint, a deal could avoid another Middle East war while delivering a political win. From Netanyahu's standpoint, a narrow nuclear deal is not enough. Israel views the threat as multi-layered. Nuclear development, ballistic missiles, and regional proxy networks all operate together. A deal that addresses enrichment but ignores missiles leaves Israel exposed in the near term, and that's the core disagreement. The strategic dilemma. Netanyahu's calculus looks like this. Wait too long and Iran's missile stockpile becomes too large to neutralize effectively. Strike now and face certain retaliation. Rely on Washington and risk a limited U.S. strike that damages but does not dismantle Iran's capabilities. Act alone and accept diplomatic fallout while reshaping the strategic balance. Israeli military planners have reportedly rehearsed unilateral strike scenarios. The F-35I fleet is capable of reaching deep inside Iran with mid-air refueling. Target lists reportedly prioritize missile production facilities, storage bunkers, launch infrastructure, and command centers. Without U.S. participation, the scope would likely be narrower, but it would be real. The window is narrowing. Israeli intelligence reportedly sees a closing window of opportunity. Iran is dispersing assets, hardening facilities, building redundancy. Every month makes the system harder to dismantle. Which brings us back to the central question: will Netanyahu actually act without American approval? The honest answer is, it depends. If negotiations produce a comprehensive agreement that addresses missiles and nuclear capabilities, Israel may step back. If Iran crosses Israel's undisclosed missile threshold, unilateral action becomes far more likely. What's clear is this: Netanyahu is not bluffing. Preparations are in place. Operational planning is real. The message to Tehran and to Washington is direct. Israel will not allow unlimited missile expansion, and it will act alone if necessary. The next chapter could be written at the negotiating table, or it could be written in the sky. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you like the video, subscribe for more deep dive geopolitical analysis, and let me know in the comments, do you think Israel will actually strike alone? I'll see you in the next one.